what is it that makes these calls successful for me, and how can I take that and actually tell you what I'm doing. And I don't actually have a sequence. The only thing, like I said, I think I'm doing right is you always want to focus on your strengths. There's actually no way for me to actually give the same attention to the $1 million client and to the $500 million client. Really beautiful morning here in Bucharest. International Women's Day today, so gotta give a lot of flowers to the ladies. And going to my accountant right now, then heading to the first meeting at the office. The morning scrum, daily stand-up, if you know what that is. And we'll continue with the day probably a little over an hour from now. So let's go with that. If it's fine for both of you, I'm cool. If it's not, like, I want to keep the relationships with both of you. I don't like doing stuff that is not cool with both parties. So just something to think about. I don't know, you talk with about this one and you guys will figure it out. I'm pretty sure it's fine, but you gotta like talk with him, you know? Okay, by the way, I think I've noticed with all the client calls I'm doing, so for you, if you have a lot of client calls, here's something I've noticed and it's really interesting. I never actually think about what the client is gonna say or what they're gonna think or anything. I just put 100% of my focus on focusing on what I can add to the table. How's that gonna impact them in a positive way? And just expressing myself in my own unique personality and letting that kind of give the jive and give the vibe of the conversation. So I don't act all professional and funky and all these things. I just act myself, and it just plays out so much better because it attracts the people that I would like to stick around with, and it just doesn't get the people that I would not like to have as clients. So I just think that's a good thing to have whenever you have client calls, or you have a lot of meetings, or you have, like, you're going for an interview, whatever it is, when you're going in a quote-unquote persuasive kind of position, it's really good to just get the approach of be the most that you can be yourself and see what sticks. And of course, you gotta improve yourself, so it's not like you gotta be yourself and that's it, but just take that approach. And like, when people see that you're really comfortable with yourself and you're like, that's him and that's that, it's so powerful. It attracts people to you. So it's really, really good. That's it. Gotta get back to another client call I have with another client. It's really, really good stuff. Because I'm in Europe time zone, I have like a really major big difference in time zones, and I gotta like do all the calls between like 5 p.m. and 9 p.m. But it's all good. I've gotten so used to it now that I don't really feel it anymore. But yeah, so that's it. And by the way, I don't think I told you this, but in the weekend we're going to Rome, so I'm gonna vlog all that, and I'm gonna make some really cool ass looking videos about that. It's gonna be a rest weekend, so not so much action there, but it's gonna be beautiful, and it's gonna be Rome. So looking forward to that. So let's continue with the day. Right. Okay. Don't worry about it, man. Yeah, so told me a little bit about you. You guys obviously work with tobacco, so that's awesome. Like, tell me what it is that you're doing, what it is that you're looking for to do. Like, where is the place where I can help, if I can help, you know what I mean? So here's what we do. It's kind of an exception, but usually we deal mostly with e-commerce companies. So we're talking about high scalability factors, we're talking about big budgets, we're talking about performance based on ad spend, and like whole campaign from idea to execution to video creation, whatever that is for that specific client. That's usually mostly of what we do, because it's really scalable and we can provide like amazing results to the client, and we can actually have no limit to the efforts that we can bring, right, with the results. Which is awesome. We have some other types of clients that we run. Like, we have software companies, we have SaaS companies. We have like 3 of them that are really crushing it. We have been working with the design app, if you know them. I'm not sure if you're familiar with those, but then we've been working all around the place because I just like diversity. I think it's a lot more fun than doing one thing really, really well. But that's kind of what we do. We have some minimums, like But if those are met, like I have no problem helping you guys out, and even especially like helping you guys out as at first for completely free, because we don't like want to do anything if it's not a win-win situation. And then we can figure out something that works for both you and us as well. So I don't know, we can figure it out if that's something you're looking for. And you guys can tell us kind of the core audience that buys from you guys is usually people that are in a good financial situation, 30, maybe 35 plus. Which I found interesting, as the demo, it's a lot older than I thought. So, for example, right now, what we've tested yesterday, and we have 3 sales since yesterday, is we've tested a lot of audiences based on how much people make, based on income. So that proves the fact that only people with, I think we already targeted people that make 100K plus a year. So it proves the fact that people that make 30, 40, 50, 80 will not be actually willing to buy this. People that are above that will probably be able to do it. So that's kind of who we went after, hardcore bikers, and we went after the people similar to your email audiences and databases, and personal income. So that's kind of the gist of what we did. So basically ending the day at the office right now after I think 4 hours of continuous calls. My brother is there working out some important things like internet, which is really important for an internet-based business, right? And then we're gonna go home and sleep, because this has been a long day, already 10 p.m. right now. I probably look a little bit tired, which I'm not tired, just looks like it. And we're gonna see you tomorrow. So going home right now, just finished kind of a pretty interesting day. And yeah, I've been thinking, because I had so many calls today, I've been thinking like, what is it that makes these calls successful for me, and how can I take that and actually tell you what I'm doing? And I don't actually have a sequence. The only thing, like I said, I think I'm doing right is I'm never actually thinking, what should I say, all these things. I'm just on the point. I'm always thinking, where is it that we can bring value to the client and how we can do that in the best way possible. Also, a thing that's really, I think, misunderstood in my opinion is the fact that most people consider themselves to be like professional, and they act way too cool in these calls, and I just don't like that. I just like to like completely express personality and all these things. So just like that to keep in mind. By the way, if in your business or whatever it is you're doing, you gotta do cold calls. I think the best approach of doing those is and I've been doing this a lot in the past, but really do your homework and know who you're calling, so that you can make connections and actually appreciate their work. They can see that you have done your homework, and they will appreciate that, and you have a lot better chances of getting into the door. So that's it for today, and let's If I would start a business from scratch right now, first thing I would do is start by understanding what it is that I'm good at, and that I start with an advantage in. So what that means is essentially I will go out and I will try to find things that